Hey everyone, welcome back to another week in my notebooks. I cannot believe that April is almost over already. Like, we're already going into May, which means it'll be June soon, which means it's gonna be hot and I'm in shambles already. So I'm not looking forward to it. Shout out to those of you who are not a summer child. I cannot stand heat. So we're almost about a month into this Hobonichi spring start. This is the Hobonichi Cousin A5. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised how much I have enjoyed being in this book. In the past, I've always had an A6 Techo. So I've always had the A6 Techo, but never thought I would be an A5 girly because I just was like, I don't know if I want such a big book that's dated, but I've definitely found my groove. Like, I found my groove in this book, and I know there's been some controversy with the Hobonichi books this year, just because of the Tomoe River paper being a little bit unreliable, I suppose, for fountain pen users, and I am a fountain pen user as well. I will say that I don't think I got that lucky either, because although some pages are fountain pen friendly, some pages are not. So there is definitely some paper inconsistency with the Hobonichis. I think the Techo actually that I have is fountain pen friendly though. Like, I haven't run into any issues here. I have just tried to experiment with different inks and different pens, and I think I have found like the pens that work best for this book so far. It's unfortunate. Hopefully they can fix it next year. So with the weekly pages, I have been having a really good time and been somewhat consistent with how I'm using it. Basically, I'm just using the weekly pages as my memory keeper, just like bullet points, basically. Like, they're just little bullet points of like things that I want to remember, things that might seem important to remember. Having something like this and being able to see like basically a spark notes of like my day has been super, super helpful. Also, this is the section that I write in every single day, even sometimes multiple times throughout the day. So it's been pretty good. Like, it feels really nice to feel so settled into a book. I also tried to experiment with like writing in a different color for my meals and to like track what I've been eating. I've been trying to do like a keto diet kind of. I've done the keto diet like multiple times in the past, but it's hard to upkeep for sure. So I've been trying to write out like some notes of what I've been eating, but I didn't do it for this week for whatever reason. And Friday is blank because today is Friday as of filming, so I wanted to show you guys what I have to this up until today. The other thing that's been really fun is that these like little top margins, I've always struggled to fill that in too. And I found these really fun stamps. I got these from Yoseka, but basically the brand is Pilot Friction, kind of like the pen, the erasable pen, I guess. But I guess Friction is just like their specific line of products from Pilot, because Pilot makes a bunch of stuff. But yeah, they have a bunch of these little miniature stamps, and they have a lot of them, so you can kind of like build your own little deck, I guess, of these like Pilot Friction stamps. And I have a few here. This one is like a little notebook. This one is packaging box, cleaning. This is actually, it means like did not work or something like that in kanji. So whenever I take a day off or something, I will stamp it with that. And then this little paw print is for anything related to Coco, my dog. And I also have a couple of other like little ones. This one is like a flower and a frog, but they have like a kind of a personal meaning for me. So I'm not gonna disclose what they mean, but I know what they mean. So just being able to stamp on the top part here is kind of cute, I think, and a nice way to utilize that space. That's kind of what I've been doing with the weekly page. It's just been a nice little memory keeper. It's also just really easy to fill. So that's been a nice little consistent thing. Of course, we're only like 3 weeks in, so we'll see. But I have been feeling a bit of planner piece, I guess. Well, journal piece, I guess, in this book. I mean, to be honest, I was perfectly happy in my Sterling ink book as well, but the binding fell apart and then I was getting fussy about it. So to be fair, I was already kind of settled in my journal. But yeah, but no, this has been really fun too. I do love my Sterling ink journal, but I think I have found a new purpose for it. It's going to be my junk journal. And those of you who have been watching my journaling videos for a while now, I mean, I'm sure you kind of can tell the difference of like these layouts versus how I used to do the like almost collage ephemera type of layouts in my other main planner. I'm quickly realizing that I am not a chunky book girl. Chunky book girl. That sounded really weird. As beautiful as I think they look, and I think it's really fun to create like this kind of chaos. I was definitely like influenced by other people's journals who have like kind of this more collaged looking journal, but I don't really like my journals chunky. I think that was the problem. It's just adding in some of these like super extra ephemera pieces. I don't know why I said super extra, but you know what I mean? Like these extra ephemera, like this kind of spread, for example, where I'm like gluing a lot of things in. I think it looks so cool and I love when other people do it and I love looking at it, but I know that over time it's what chunked up my book and it became really annoying trying to write in this book. But yeah, like looks cool. Like I really love the way that I had done this journal, but it's just, I don't really think I wanted to chunk it up so much. I'm going to continue using this book as my new junk journal, and that way I won't feel so bad if it starts to fall apart. I don't have to be so precious with this book. So yeah, I don't know. I think I found a new purpose for it and it's all good. But this is definitely way cleaner, like of an aesthetic. I totally forgot to introduce our little desk buddy today. I got this from like one of those gachapon machines, and there was like a Tamagotchi like gachapon machine, and this is the one I got. I forgot its name. There is a name for these, but like this is like the funniest one. This is how I feel like this is my face every day at work. Anyway, so that's our new friend, our desk friend for the day. I really just like utilizing these little peekaboo pages, I guess, because it gives me more room to write and it still allows me to have like some kind of visual. Same here, like there's like a big visual piece, but it's really mostly writing. And for some of them, I've been kind of having fun with it by adding more stickers, but keeping the layout pretty simple for the most part, like pretty minimal. Well, I don't know if minimal is the right word because it's not like minimal, but like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like crazy amounts of ephemera for the most part. So with like receipts, since they're also kind of like very thin, I feel like it's fine to add them into this book, but I didn't want to add too many receipts in here either because I know they can get kind of like crinkled up and like start to like fatten the book up. I think I had to add this one in because they started using a pink receipt and I was like, oh, this is amazing and I need this. so this was a very food-filled spread. The 19th was, the 20th was Easter Sunday, but we had an Easter roast with my boyfriend's family. They cooked like a very nice little roast dinner on that Saturday night. And then we watched a Blue Jays game on Sunday. And I finally got my hot dog in a baseball game because I've never gotten a hot dog at a baseball game. I've been to Dodgers games and Angels games, when I was living in LA, but I never got like a hot dog. That sounds stupid, but I don't know. There were just other food options when I went. But yeah, so that was a very food-tastic weekend. This is definitely my favorite spread so far. I do think I lean towards like these black and white, like minimal color spreads. Like some of my favorite spreads in my journals, like ever, are always kind of like this, where it's kind of like muted colors, I guess you can say. I mean, this isn't like all black and white, but it's like muted colors. And I don't know, I think there's just something very nice and simple about using muted colors. I don't always want to use muted colors just because I do think it can get kind of boring. For me personally, like I do like color. I do like pages like this where there's a lot of bright colors, but I don't know, there's something very calming about these kind of spreads too, where the colors are very neutral. So lots of writing on this page as well. I just love this quote by Sylvia Plath. I don't know what it is like to not have deep emotions. Even when I feel nothing, I feel it completely. That's like empath core. Like, I feel like I totally understand that. And I hate being an empath sometimes, like, because I feel so strongly, like, about everything for everyone. If you are like that as well, like where you feel like strong emotions for other people, like more than yourself, you're an empath. And obviously Sylvia Plath was an empath as well. This thing, I'm gonna show you guys something I've been doing. You might have noticed that I did something similar in the front. I've just been like playing around with customizing my journal in some fun ways, and I started creating this layout of like kind of typed out blurbs, and I thought this was kind of nice. So this is one of them. This is another one. This one is actually something that I found on my old Tumblr, which is very cringe, but I did find something on my old Tumblr when I was 22. It says like a word from the past. So I don't know. A lot of times I'll read stuff from my old blogs when I was younger, and I'm like, wow, young me was like way wiser than old me somehow. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I was definitely a lot more introspective when I was younger. This one is just kind of a fun like blurb, I guess, where I was having like deja vu of these like English countryside houses, and I saw this image and I was like, wait, I'm having deja vu because I feel like I have been to this place, like in this photo. That's kind of how this whole thing started, actually, is when I saw this photo and I was like, wait, I'm getting deja vu by looking at this photo, but I know that I've never been to England as a child. Like, I grew up in the East Coast, I guess, so like maybe it was somewhere in New England or like Massachusetts or any of those like states where they do have kind of like British style houses. But I'm like, wait, I have literally been here when I was a child. Like, I have been in this photograph. But yeah, I don't know how to explain that, but I just wrote this like blurb about it, and then it started, I just thought it'd be cool to do a couple of these. So that's what this is from. And then I think this is the last page, actually. Yeah, so because today is Friday. Yeah, so this is the last spread that I have so far in April. And like I said, I've just been kind of finding a groove and been really having a good time and enjoying the cousin. And yeah, there's just not that much to say about it besides I've been having a good time in my cousin. So this layout and system has been working really well for me. I have been able to journal in this every single day this month. So like, as in like, I'm not backfilling, like I'm actually journaling that day. And I haven't really been able to do that with this book just because I feel like the way I was decorating, I'm gonna move our little guy actually, sorry. I need space, man. The way that I've been journaling in previously, I felt like it was kind of like more of a process, I guess. Like, it was more of a creative process. As you can see, like just even from me flipping the pages, you can see kind of how it was more of a creative process as opposed to like this. And because I wasn't journaling every day and I was just backfilling every like once a week, I felt like it was more of like a creative activity like that I did once a week as opposed to it being a routine that I did daily. So I feel like I have now gotten into that routine with this book, which is nice. I love this spread. I really, really love this spread. I think this is kind of my inspo, what I would call like an inspo board. And this is really, really what I want to do moving forward as well. So like, I lost the page, but yeah. So like, I would say these two collages are like my own inspo board moving forward with this book, if that makes sense. I just really like how put together this one is though. It's like kind of clean, but everything is from like is an ephemera except for this. I also kind of like this too, just like having a little bit of a note to stick on here if I do want to add some written text. So yeah, I think this is the inspo for the way I want to junk journal. I have actually not looked through this book in a few days or in a week or something, so I don't remember exactly what I put in here, but I do have this honey pot like packaging because they're the best pads ever. I guess, you know what's weird is I don't even remember doing this spread. Like, I don't even remember making this spread. I'm like, wait, when did I do this? Like, did I do this? I remember this, but I don't remember doing this. But yeah, like, I guess I was still writing in this because I was trying to transition over to this book. I don't know. I don't know what I was writing in here. Yeah, I guess I was just still writing in this. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm like buffering right now because I'm like, when did I do this spread? Like, when did I make this spread? Yeah, so had some like ink swatch thing going on here, which I really like this color. It's from Ferris Wheel Press. This is my Paper Plus cloth stationery order. And I got a bunch of these like flower stickers, which I'll show you guys because I thought they were really cute. Oops. Those ones I already had. So I got a bunch of these floral stickers in different colors. So there's like, these are like beige and blue. It's kind of, I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but like well, also because they're translucent, so it's kind of hard to tell, but like the flower color like kind of has a gradient. So like it's lighter here and more yellow up here. And then this one, I use a lot of these, as you can tell, like brownish, yellowish, fades into a nice pretty blue. This one's just mostly green, I guess, for the most part. And this one too, it's like blue kind of fading into whites. So I thought these flower stickers were really, really cool. But yeah, I got these from Paper Plus Cloth, but I think you can also buy these from Yoseka or I'm sure any other like stationery shop that carries Japanese stationery. Okay, so I remember doing this spread. This is so weird. I must have blacked out when I made this spread. I'm like freaking out right now because I do remember making this spread. I don't remember making this spread. It's so weird. Anyway, but yeah, so here's another example of something more simple. This is when I started to stop using it as a journal, I think, maybe, I guess, because I don't remember writing in this either. I like this. Like, I like the simplicity. I think I just really am starting to like more like simple and minimal layouts in general. But I do think that it's still using like little, you know, packaging ephemera and all that. Same with this. Oh, there's more. I don't know if you guys can tell that I'm like kind of freaking out right now because I haven't really sat with this book in a while, but I guess I filled it out. Just more packaging stuff. I love using these little pages from the Traveler's Notebook, like refills. They always have like this little instructions, I guess, that comes with the refill books. And I don't know, you'll probably notice it a lot throughout my journals because I love using it. I think it just looks really nice. So I just added a picture of my own notebook, my Louise Carmen. This is an ink that I bought from Amazon, which I try not to buy things from Amazon. I really do try not to buy it. But this color, I really, really wanted this color from Teranishi. And Teranishi has quickly become my favorite ink brand. And the colors are kind of hard to find sometimes. So yeah, and then this is my beautiful Kiss Lock bag with all of the little stickers on there and the cute dino. Oh my god, there's more. Okay, I do remember doing this. Oh my god, there's more. What is going on? I do remember doing this spread. I just don't remember doing these two, which is quite odd. Whatever. Okay, anyway, sorry, I'm gonna stop mentioning the fact that I can't remember why when I did these spreads. I do remember doing this spread because I talked about it in my last video too, that I was going to use these images for my junk journal. And this text here isn't really even like journaling. I think they're just lyrics from the Luther song from Kendrick Lamar and SZA. So I created this little fold out. I love this music video too because I knew exactly where the filming location was for this. It's the Westin Bonaventure in downtown LA. I've stayed at that hotel for like Anime Expo or something before. But yeah, I just loved everything about the visuals of this song. I love the song. I love Luther Vandross. Like, all of it was perfect. Okay, so this is the last page. So I can stop freaking out. I just added like a couple of ephemera pieces to like fill it later on. But oh yeah, so these are like the little Tamagotchi sheets, I guess, that came in the little capsules when you get the gachapon. And the other one that I have somewhere is this blue one. I got this one, the blue one with the numbers on it. I really wanted the metallic ones. But yeah, or this black one. But this one's cool too. And then they have this one. So that's the one I got. I really want this. I want all of them, honestly. I want the dog that pooped. Love that. So these just came in the little capsule balls. And then the place, I have the card. It's called Spare Time. So if you're ever in Toronto, or if you live in Toronto, this is at Union Station in downtown Toronto. It's called Spare Time. And yeah, it's like a little gachapon shop. I'm just gonna leave that in there so it's easy to do later on. So yeah, that's how I'm doing my junk journal. Hopefully she stays in one piece. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do, honestly, if this falls apart. Because I'm not being too precious about this one and like being too OCD about it, I think it'll work out even if it did fall apart, because then I can just like tape it together and not be so fussed about like how clean it looks or whatever, because that's what I have this one for. And I will say, I think if you're ever gluing anything into your journals, I mean, I think it's inevitable that's gonna chunk up a little bit, but yeah, 3 weeks in and this is how chunky it looks so far. It's not too bad. I don't add any other like ephemera pieces to the weekly pages, so hopefully it'll stay flat. But I think that is one of the things that I realized was not working for me, was this chunking, like as a daily writer. Because if I'm using this as an actual journal, which I am, I have to be able to write in it comfortably, and I can't really do that when the pages are looking like this. So yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video is a little pet project, a little side project, I guess, for a different kind of journal. So I have this added into my Louise Carmen book just to hold it in, I guess, like hold it somewhere. This is a little pet project. So I have mentioned this a couple times in previous videos, but I don't really journal about negative things anymore. I used to do it a lot when I was younger, but as I got older, I felt like writing about negative things actually did more harm than good. Like whenever I was like ranting about like super negative experiences or negative or bad days, I felt like I was going on a mad tangent, just complaining, I guess, like about everything. And I kind of felt like it was putting me in a worse place. And I do think it be like that sometimes for some of us. I do know some people, they need to like vent out the frustrations and the negative stuff like onto their journal. Like that's where all of it goes, like therapy. And I know it works out really nicely for some people, but I do think that for me anyway, like constant like negative writing just reinforced the emotions, the bad emotions, if that makes sense. I'll be honest, whenever I get into, like, for example, like when I get into a fight with somebody or with my partner, I forget about it like relatively quickly. Like I am not somebody who holds a grudge, mainly because I don't remember. I don't know. I don't even remember what we fought about. I don't remember the nuances that we fight about and like what we talk about. So it's like kind of like out of my mind by, you know, at the end of the day, it's like I don't really hold on to any grudge and I don't really care for it. I don't think it's a good thing to brood about negative, petty instances. So I never hold on to grudges, but I also do think it's somewhat attributed to just me having very bad like short-term memory, and sometimes I don't even remember what I get mad about. But anyway, that's all like a long-winded way of saying that I kind of did want a place where I can vent out those frustrations in kind of a healthy way. So I thought it'd be fun to just use this very weird, this weird size book. So this brand is Yamamoto paper. Like I feel like Yamamoto paper just makes like all the paper things I love. So this brand is Yamamoto Paper Company. Again, they make like a lot of different papers like from Japan that are quite unique, I would say, and interesting. And that goes for this little notebook as well, which has really nice paper. It's like a little bit thicker than Tomoe River paper, but a little bit thinner than Midori, like the Midori paper, if you're familiar with those. So yeah, this was going to be my little therapy book that I just kind of add into my Louise Carmen or whatever. One thing I really liked about this size too is that you don't have to worry about writing too much. I think if you have too much space to write, it will also make me feel like I'm gonna have to like write a lot of rant and write more of that negative thoughts, and I don't want it to be like too long. This little side thing I typed up as well. This is one of my favorite quotes of all time. It's a long quote, but basically it is a quote from American Beauty, which I think is just one of the most beautiful quotes like I've heard in a movie. So I did do a little bit more of like this like typed up thing that you saw in my cousin, just to like experiment with like maybe I want to type it up sometimes and maybe I want to write it out sometimes. I have not written much in here yet because, and again, this is not a very consistent journal. This is just whenever I want to like vent out some frustrations. I printed this one out as well. I think I kind of like the mix of like typed out, glued in pages and having my own thoughts just written out with pen. Now I don't have to be so fussy about it. I can just write. So maybe I'm just using this as like to break the pages up a little bit, just to make it a little bit more fun. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing with these printed out pages. The nice thing about this is that it's very like low commitment because it's just a little booklet. Like there's not very many pages. And if it works out well, I can either get more or move into a bigger notebook. So yeah, that is my little pet project therapy journal. I think it's almost like a good thing to talk about your negative feelings, negative and positive feelings. But I think a lot of times, especially with how I have anxiety and I've had depression and like, and then also like the ADHD, like I think if I talk about negative thoughts too much, what happens is I start to spiral. And if you know, you know. Like if it's really easy for you to spiral talking about certain things, you really have to like learn to control yourself and like not talk about those things, because you know it's not going to be good for your mental health. So for me, I don't want to like spend too much time writing about like some long, lengthy passages about my negative emotions. So I think having like a little book like that is actually going to be pretty nice. So yeah, that is the update on all of my journals and notebooks this week. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I will see you guys in the next one.